Hello, bridge builders! I'm here with some exciting news. The first volume of interviews is now available on Amazon.com. The link can be found at eatlunchandboardgame.com. I promise that all proceeds from sales of this book will go right back into this podcast and channel. Whether that is new and better audio equipment for the podcast, or video equipment for the YouTube channel, or even more games to review, the money will not be wasted. Click over to Amazon and get your copy of Eat Lunch and Board Game, the first course today. And thank you for supporting the show. As you know, I've been playing a lot of Long Shot and Long Shot the Dice game. I have been waiting for the next release, Win, to finally hit the stores. Well, last week I received the email that my pre-order was in. So I drove out to the friendly local game shop to pick up my copy of Chris Handy's 17th game in the Perplexed Pack of Games series, Win, a Long Shot game. Once again, in Win, you and your opponents are betting on the horses at the track. The gambler who has the most cash at the end of the race is the winner. I was curious how Chris could pare the game down to fit into the gumpack-sized box. I was worried that the game would lose its fun, its chaos, its hilarity. So, how did he do? Let's find out as we wait for the bugle call. There it is. And now we are off to the races once more with Win. Alright, welcome back to Lunch and Board Game. I'm your host, Adam Collins. Let's take a look at the rule clarity for Win. First off, I want to state that the rule sheet says to go to the company website for a how-to video. The son and I have played many of these Perplexed Pack of Games, and we have used the website to bypass reading the rules for each one of them. Sadly, when we went to the site for this one, it was not yet posted. This left the son and I to read through the rules for the first time. Considering the rules must also fit inside the gumpack, we were concerned that they would leave us wanting. Surprisingly, that was not the case. We simply started at the top, worked our way through the rules one at a time, and read through each example. In the end, we had no problem. The rules were very clear and the examples aided exactly where needed. Time to explain to newcomers. The time to explain Win to newcomers is probably close to about 10 minutes. Luckily, you can teach it while setting it up. For such a small, compact game, there is a lot going on, and each part must be explained. Gameplay. To set up, the best thing to do is sort the cards out by type. Then, find the 3 that make the track. They are numbered 1 to 9 across the top. They also list the 5 possible actions a gambler may make on their turn, and I'll cover those in a little bit. Next, line up the horses from 1 to 6, top to bottom. They should all be lined up just to the left of the starting pylon. Also make sure that they are all on the same side. They recommend A for the first game. Each player will need a set of 3 cards for their gambler, 1 money marker, and 2 betting cards. Deal each player a starting bet card face down. Keep these secrets from your competitors so they don't know which horse you're trying to push to victory. These cards have 2 $2 bets on them, and yet one has 3 $1 bets and a $2 bonus at the end of the game. At this time, if you have fewer than 4 gamblers, any leftover gambler sets and starting bid cards can be put back in the box. Be sure to not look at the leftover starting bids. Select a first gambler any way you want. That gambler will place the money marker card with the arrow only side pointing down on to the 8 on the track. Every other gambler places theirs pointing to the 9. This will track each player's money throughout the game. If you ever cross $10, which you should, turn it to that side and then add in the single digit on the end. The back of the card has a 20 and 30 value, but I have yet to need either one of these in my games. Set the bookie card close by. It is the one with the guy in the cage for placing bets. This is where players will place their bet cards during the game. Lastly, give the 4 run cards to the starting player. These are the ones with a brown background and a dark brown horse on each end. The starting player then randomizes and rotates these 4 cards face down until happy, then flip them over one at a time. This starts the race. Look at the 3rd run card from the left. This card will have 3 green arrows pointing to one number on the 4th card at the end. This corresponding horse moves forward 3 spaces. The other 2 horses move forward a single space. The first gambler then has the option of one of the 5 actions, but only one. Once finished, the next gambler in clockwise order goes until all gamblers have taken one action this round, and each action can be repeated by multiple gamblers. So let's take a look at those actions. First up, advance. Move any horse forward 1 space based on how many times that number appears on the run cards this round. Once this action is taken, one of the run cards with the number is flipped over and cannot be used again this round. Bet. A gambler may place a $3 bet on any horse shown on the active side of the run cards. A gambler places one of the bet cards touching the bookie at the corresponding number of the horse they wish to bet on. If a bet is already placed on that horse by a different gambler, it costs an additional $2. There's a plus $2 icon on the bookie card as a reminder. Also, if the selected horse is in space 8 or 9 on the track, it costs an additional $2, and the same icon appears next to and close to the finish pylon. If the gambler already has a bet on the horse, rotate or flip the card to the next $3 increment. $12 is the maximum bid you can have on one horse. The active gambler will lower the money they have by $3 on the money track. Again, one of the run cards displaying the number of the horse receiving the bet is flipped over. Next is cash. Some of the run cards have a bill at the top with a 1, 2, or 3 in it. The active gambler adds up the sum of all cash shown and adds it to the total on their money track, then flips over a run card featuring one of the bills. Deed. Each of the 6 horses has a special action on it. The active gambler may take one of the actions on a horse displayed on a run card, then flip over one of the run cards featuring that number. As in past versions, these actions can be beneficial to the gambler or detrimental to opponents. Last option is to eat. On the back side of each gambler's starting bet card are the same 3 actions. These are the eat actions. Each has a cost associated with moving a horse or horses. For each hot dog card on the top of one of the run cards, a gambler may perform one of these actions and they must pay for it. To pay for it, move your money marker down the corresponding amount. And of course, one of the cards with a hot dog card must be flipped over. Play proceeds this way until the 3rd horse crosses the finish line. Here are the caveats. Only the run cards can allow a horse to cross the finish line. No actions can be taken to do so. Once a horse crosses the line, its deed action can no longer be used, and bets may no longer be placed on that horse. If it comes up again in the run cards, simply skip it. Once a 3rd horse crosses the finish line, the game ends. Should more than one horse cross at the same round, the horse with the lowest number is assumed to have finished before the others. When the 3rd horse crosses that finish line, it is time to add up the winnings and crown the winner. I find this easiest by starting with each gambler's starting bet. Multiply that by the win, place, or show value on the horse. These are the blue, red, and white squares respectively. Next, look at the bookie card and multiply any bets that paid off in the same way. Lastly, add in any leftover cash on hand, and then the gambler with the most moolah is the winner. Replayability. As soon as the son and I finished, and he beat me by $1, we wanted to set it up and play again. Sadly, the wife needed us to do some house chores. Win plays so quickly that you want to play it again immediately to try a different strategy. With the horses having an A and B side, that adds more replayability. Component quality. There are 30 gumstick cards and a folded rule set. That's it. They're both of nice quality and should hold up well, but even if they don't, it's about $6 to replace the game. Lunchtime potential. The box says 25 minutes to play, and that's probably about right. We learned it and played it in under 40 minutes. I think that we could easily play it in 25 minutes now. So you could easily fit this in a lunch half hour or get multiple plays in a full lunch hour. Artwork. Klaus Souza returns as the artist for Win a Long Shot game. Each of the horses look determined as ever to win the race. The 4 different gamblers look hungry for more money. As with the dice game, Souza's art works well and just makes Win a little more enjoyable. Expansions. Not yet, but I'm hoping. The game just came out. Bang for the buck. Win retails for $6. I got my copy for under $5, but even cheaper as I cashed in some reward points. Given how much table time the other 2 versions of this game have seen, I feel confident that this one will also be seeing a lot of play. So for the $6, you cannot go wrong. Summary. As you can tell, I am very happy with Win a Long Shot game. I don't know how Chris Handy did it, but he managed to keep all the tension and play from the original and the dice game intact with only 30 gumstick-sized cards. What an amazing hoof. Get it? Feet? Hoof? Will this be the last game in the Long Shot series? Will it end as a trilogy of hits? Who knows? Not me. I still cannot believe Chris Handy has now made 18 games in the Pack of Games series. Each one that I have played has been fun. With Win, Handy has hit another one out of the park. I want to tell you though, there are not a lot of rounds in Win, so you must figure out how to maximize each of your turns to get the best return on investment. There are plenty of ways to make money, but which track will you go down? Win is too new to have a BGG score at this time. I gave it a solid 8 out of 10, and I urge you to buy the game and also go rate it on BGG. I've said it before and I'll say it again, grab your mint julep, put on your fancy hat, grab your binoculars, and prepare to gamble your way to victory in this very fast-paced horse racing game by Perplexed Games. I do declare! And as usual, you can reach out to me at facebook.com/eatlunchandboardgame. You can contact me through my website, which is www.eatlunchandboardgame.com, and you can always email me at eatlunchandboardgame@gmail.com with suggestions of other games that I should be looking into. And remember, board games build bridges. When you're gaming, why not be comfy? Go over to supportplayer.org. Click on the cards, pieces, and dice to get some merch. These t-shirts are some of the most comfortable I have ever worn. That's supportplayer.org, and there's a link on eatlunchandboardgame.com.